In today's video, we are going to see how to validate mobile numbers that we collect in a chatbot. Okay, so today we are going to see how to validate the mobile numbers that we collect as part of the bot flow. So validation of numbers is very important because uh, when you are doing lead generation campaign and you're collecting the mobile numbers from your subscribers, there is a possibility people will enter wrong numbers, right? Then the very point of we collecting the mobile numbers or email IDs in a bot flow is for a remarketing purpose. So what good is it if the mobile number you collected is junk, something like 111110000 and so on, right? So having a real-time validation of the mobile number that's submitted definitely helps us. Don't you agree? So typically, I use a system called NumVerify. So this is a paid version which charges $10 per month for I believe 10,000 lookups, number lookups a month. They also have a free version, NumVerify, but unfortunately the free version doesn't support the HTTPS, that is the secure HTTP calls, API calls. And for us to make external requests, we need HTTPS access. But unfortunately, I came across this website today, Telnix, which is again one of, I believe, is one of the premier SMS marketing companies, and they have a free number lookup tool as well. So as you can see, they provide this free international lookup, and you just enter the mobile number and it gives you the basic information. This is not detailed, of course, because this is a free service. They're masking out certain information, like what is the mobile network code and what all that means, I'm not sure. But basically for us, we get two major information. One is we get the country code, country where the user is there, and we also get what is the type of the mobile. So this is a sample JSON format of how of the lookup that happens. So this is the API URL. So we'll talk about this in detail now. So if you want to see this in action, let's just go to my the flow I just created this. Let's just preview this link so you'll have an idea of how this looks like. So now it's just asking me my number. So let's say this is my number. I submit the number, right? Yeah. So you can see that once the number is submitted, it does a backend check. So you can ignore this message. I was just testing this stuff. So it comes back with a success message saying you have collected a valid mobile number. Now let's do this again. This time let's enter some dummy number, hopefully. So let's enter +1, I don't know, some other stuff. I hope it's a invalid number. Yeah, see, you can see it, we have an error message here. Oops, either the phone number is submitted is invalid or it's a landline. So basically, as you can see in this response format, we are actually getting whether the type is mobile or if it's a landline. And right now, because we are focusing only on getting mobile numbers so that we can use it for SMS and other remarketing efforts, at least personally, I prefer to focus only on the mobile type, right? So what I do is I just ensure that the type, whenever the numbers I get, the type is mobile, and then I validate it. So let's go to the flows and see what has been done. So let me just start with a new flow. So this is just a typical user input field. This is a user input block where I'm getting the mobile number and I'm saving this in the phone field, right? So nothing fancy here. And then once the data is saved, so this is where the callback magic happens, right? So like I said, since I'm using this particular service, that is Telnix, this is the request URL we need to use. So I will be sharing this information in the description of this video, so you can check it out. So you just need to copy this URL, and this is the phone number. So you can ignore this for now because we'll be using a custom field there in the flow. So for now, let's just copy this part, and then you go to the flow again, and we have created a content block. So we just, what I've done is I clicked on request. You see this get content from, click on this, and it's a get request, and you just paste this. Oops, just copy this and paste it. So now at the end we need the phone number, so I'm just going to put the phone field. It's done, right? So this is the request. Now let's just test this and see what happens. So we are getting, so the request is valid because when you click on test request, you're getting a status code is 200 and you're getting the response in JSON, which is what you want, right? So now let's just focus on what data we need to collect. So we need this data. So under this data object, we want only this information where the type. So now because this is an invalid field, invalid number, so you can see type is blank, right? So this is the reason we have the condition block. So now let's try entering a valid number. I hope this works. Yeah, it works. So now you can see type is mobile. So basically we want a data.carrier.type. So we need to store this value in a custom field and we need to compare that, right? So with the dynamic request part, we don't need to set up anything in the headers because technically this is a free service. So we just take this URL, add the custom field and put it there. So in response mapping, we need to map this response. So as you saw here, we need the parameter, the value that comes with this key, right? So data.carrier.type. So let's just type it here. Let's just add a JSON path, $data.carrier.type, and we need to save this in a custom field. So I already created a custom field, which is phone type. So whatever data comes here, it is stored here, right? You save it. So for now, I'll just delete it because it's the same thing I've done here. So the phone and then response mapping. Oops, looks like it says not. There's a bug here. $data.carrier.type, and I'll just save this to phone type, right? Let's just test again. Okay, so anyway, so let me save this. Don't forget to save because I make this mistake most often. So I forget to save this thing and then it gets lost, right? So now what we are doing is we are collecting the mobile number here. We are passing it on to an external request block, and we are using a third-party service from Telnex. It's a free service, so I'm using it. And like I said, I prefer in my live projects I use NumVerify, a paid version of it. But then this is a free service available, so for simple projects you can use this. And here, whatever data type we get, so carrier type, we just save it on this particular custom field. So now let's put up a condition block. Now we need to compare phone type, right? The phone type equals mobile because there was a value that we want. So now we just need to go ahead with your flow. Like, let's say this is a success message. So if the phone number is valid, then you just say, hey, it's a valid number, and just put the next step. Alright. So now let's say we have an invalid phone number. So either it's a landline or it's an invalid number. Saying like you can just, sorry, let's just put a text block Oops, debug. Either you have entered an invalid phone number, or it is a landline number. Yes, enter your landline mobile number PIN. Right? And let's just hook it back to this step. Right? Yeah. So this success message, it's entirely up to you. This we are just putting it for this flow sake. So technically, in your flow, when you're doing this, when you're collecting the lead, you validate the number and then you just go to the next step. Maybe collect the email ID. So yeah, we'll have another video on how to validate the email IDs. We'll do that. Don't worry. So yes, that's it. Now let's just see how this works. Right? Let's do a preview. Okay, so let's again check this number. Hey, this is a valid number. You can go to the next step. So yes, folks, this is it. It's a very simple step, but then this is a very powerful step. And in my opinion, if you're doing any lead magnet related stuff where you want to collect the contact information, or even when you're sending, doing this, what do you call the quotations and all that stuff, I suggest you do this step because I've seen a lot of flows where people enter dummy mobile numbers, dummy information there, and let's just go ahead with the flow and collect the information. But then, as a bot builder, you'll be missing out on some very valid data. So, feel free to ask any questions you might have, either in the group or in the YouTube video. So, totally fine there. Hopefully in the next couple of days I will come up with another video on how to do a email validation. It's like very simple like this. Have a good day, guys.